welcome back. I've got a question for you. Did you have a redesigned Space Marine drop pod on your bingo card for 2025? Because personally, I did not have it on my bingo card, really, for any year. But, for some reason, they've decided they're going to rework it. They're going to remake it. This is a firstborn kit that is getting an actual new style almost. They've removed stuff. They've changed the scaling slightly. It apparently is easier to build, although that wouldn't be difficult because the old drop pod was, and I feel fairly confident in saying this because I built one myself, a massive pain in the arse. So that's something, right? What is happening? Okay, is this a sign that they're going to be taking some of those like classic kits and maybe updating things that we perhaps thought they would never update? I mean, it's nice to think about, right? It's nice to consider. But as they say here, Warhammer hobbyists have been dropping their Space Marines onto tabletops for decades, so it's high time their mobile chariot got an update. Better still, they now come in pairs. Now, that's an interesting statement. It could technically, maybe, be better that they come in pairs, because that implies, obviously, 2 to a box, but I'm fairly sure that will also mean a fairly significant price increase where, yes, maybe, if you bought 2 of the old ones, then it would cost more than buying 2 of the new ones, which are going to be in one box. But I suspect that even if that's the case, you're still going to end up paying a lot more for the 2 than you ever did for the 1. Or at least that's my gut feeling. Maybe I'm not being charitable enough. Maybe that's not how it's going to work. That's definitely how it's going to work. But there you have it. A new drop pod. An actual new drop pod for the Space Marines. I mean, it looks fine. It looks like a drop pod. This is one of those things, right, where I'm more like surprised that they did the thing than I'm going to be either surprised or impressed by the thing itself. Does that make sense? I wouldn't have called them doing this. And so it's worth talking about, and I find it super interesting. The actual model, I mean, it's a drop pod, innit? It's a drop pod. Are they the most exciting things Games Workshop have ever made? No. Are they important? Yes. Are they a core part of how Space Marines deploy on the battlefield? Of course. Do we need models for them? I would argue that actually, yes, it's a nice thing to have on the tabletop, shows how they got there, provides a nice bit of cover, a bit of scenery. It's all good. It's also just a drop pod, and as such is not all that exciting, although it is kind of funny to note that even the drop pod now arrives with a tactical rock. Even this most innocuous of vehicles now comes with a fancy base on it. Technically, kind of, sort of. Now, of course, some notable differences with this one. First of all, there is no, weapons rack above where the Space Marines go. There's no missile launcher, there's no bolt or anything. That stuff's gone. Instead, you've just got the interior where the lads are strapped in. And if you look at the doors, they don't go up as high as they used to. So I think the footprint of this is actually going to be a little bit smaller. Yeah, there's a lot more stuff around the doors and around the drop pod in general, but when those doors are open, it's not going to affect as much of the battlefield as it did previously. It is also worth noting that with those rocks being there, this is just going to be doors open all the time. The actual modularity of it, where you could either have the doors closed or open, that doesn't look like that's going to be a thing right here. At least that's my guess, because looking at that, unless it's designed in a very interesting and borderline unfathomable way, you can see where some of the scenery around the doors is not connected to the central section of the drop pod, so that implies that that is just stuck onto the doors full time, which means that if the door's closed, it's going to look really weird. So it looks like this is just the one pose. You put it on the table, the doors are open, away you go. Now, for me, that is just a bit more sensible. I don't think that's necessarily a problem. It is a little bit of, I mean, you're losing that immersion, I suppose, by not being able to close and open the doors, and it's going to make it way more difficult to transport, that's for damn sure. But does it matter in the long run? Probably not. And with the change to the way the doors have been designed, where they are that bit shorter, it does mean that whilst it's stuck open the whole time, the footprint is that bit smaller, you know? I'd be very curious to see a height comparison of this versus the other one, because that door shape definitely has been altered, but I don't know that the rest of it has. I feel like the top is pretty similar, if not the same. The actual, wings? I don't know what you describe them as. The flanges? I don't know. So the bits in between the doors, those look pretty similar to the old one as well. I don't know how much has actually changed there either. I wasn't sure if I still had this, but I just abandoned the PC and abandoned the recording to see if I could find my old drop pod, and I've found it. It's covered in cobwebs, but it does mean that I can open up the inside. This went through several iterations, as you can probably tell. Also, that's not great, is it? Good lord, I did a bad job of this. Okay, it's knackered. It was clearly going to be one colour, then it was going to be another colour, and then it was going to be another colour, and I never did anything with it, it turns out. Maybe I've built two. I can't really remember now, because this is shocking. Just get rid of that bit of cobweb right there, and the rest of it. Okay, so I'm looking at the one on the screen, I'm looking at the one in my hand, and I mean, difference-wise, the doors are definitely different. The doors are definitely different. Like, if you look at that, and then you look at that, you can see that the doors are just shorter. That upper section has been redesigned significantly, which, again, makes sense for the changing of the footprint of it. So that's something that makes a lot of sense. The interior, it's kind of hard to get a good read on. I think they have altered the interior quite a bit. I mean, I'm looking at the middle of this, and you've got, like, the harness shapes are different. It looks like they're raised on the newer version, whereas they're out on the old version, so that's another difference there, so that's kind of interesting. And then, of course, we've got the significant alteration in that you got no gun in the middle. I mean, you got it on this one, but not on the new one. And yeah, you can tell the top has been redesigned specifically, like quite a bit as well. The top has been really, really altered, which is fine, looks decent. And I think a lot of the interior, there's certain detail sections on the interior that are pretty much the same. And in fact, I think those wings, those sort of like sticky out bits between the doors, those do look to be pretty much exactly the same. I don't think there's any real difference there between these two. I'm looking at this, and I'm seeing the same design elements on both. So, yeah, I mean, it's been updated, but it looks like the overall frame of it has been kept maybe not exactly the same, but very, very similar. But the interior has been changed, the doors have been changed, and that section there, like that kind of middle bit from where the turbine is down to where the tops of the doors would be on this one, but are on the new one, that has definitely been significantly changed as well. So yeah, that's interesting. That's actually, I'm kind of glad I dug this out now, because seeing those differences right next to each other, yeah, that's kind of fun. I wonder what prompted them to do that now, though. Maybe they just decided, you know what, people have been complaining about the drop pods for ages. We got to do something about it. We should actually sort it. I don't know. It seems odd that they would bother to change that after all these years. I mean, does this mean the Rhino is going to get reworked? I mean, technically it already has, I guess. We've got the Horus Heresy ones. So, actually, I say that question. They already have done that. Oh my god. I keep glancing at this now I'm holding it, and good lord. The build quality. What I did to this poor drop pod so many years ago. Like, that door doesn't even properly close. It's so knackered. It's on the wonk to an insane degree. I don't know whether I should do something with that or just throw it out. I should probably do something with it. I'd give it to someone, but I don't want to hand over that sort of nonsense and pain. Anyway, let's carry on having a look at the rest of this. So, as it says, the Stormbolter and Deathwing launcher, normally mounted above the passengers, has been removed. I like that there's no explanation for why, other than it's just been removed. And also it says normally, which implies that it should have it, but this one doesn't. I don't think that's necessarily what they were trying to imply, but that is kind of what they've implied there, in a way. So that's been gone, and the endlessly fiddly doors that spawned 1,000 arguments about vehicle footprints are now fastened firmly in their position. So yeah, they are there. It was fairly clear from looking at it, but it's nice to have it confirmed that is now just how it is. I do love this. The kit is significantly easier to build. You've got to give them some points there. You've got to give them some points for being actual honest themselves and going, yes, it was not good to build. Like, it was not easy to build. I'll give them that. It's nice to have the acknowledgement. So, yeah, that's okay, cool. There's going to be a new datasheet as well, available via free download. Good lord. I do like those detail shots that they've done there. It also looks like the engine / turbine, whatever at the top, that seems to be pretty much the same thing that it was on the old one as well. So another bit of like reused thing there. I don't know, I'm not going to be buying any myself, personally. But yeah, I'm glad they've done it. I'm happy that they've reworked it because... good grief. This is interesting. You'll note the impact debris under the doors. This is modular and can be added to suit your taste when building the drop pod. So I guess that means you can have as much of the tactical rocks as you like. So it looks like the central section where it's raised up so that the doors can lie down properly, that stuff is just part of the kit and you have to have it, but the stuff that's under the doors itself, that being up to you, kind of use your discretion as how much you like. I like that. I mean, if you're going to make everyone have the things open all the time, then at the very least make it so that you can have them look a little bit different in terms of, you know, how much stuff they've smashed out of the way or the amount of decoration on them. Nice, nice. And finally, each box will contain 2 complete drop pods. So there you go, new drop pod. Did not think that would be a thing that I ever really necessarily saw, to be honest, but I'm not going to complain either, and it looks like a decent update to the original. And now having dug out my original, I'm going to go and hide it away somewhere again, because it's an absolute state. It's just a mess, a catastrophe in plastic form. That's not really their fault, that's mostly because I put it together in a horrible way. But there you go. Thank you very much for watching. Feel free to click all the things. Let me know what you think of the new drop pod in the comments down below. Are you as surprised as me? And are you thinking this might see some older stuff maybe get revisited randomly? Or do you think this is our lot? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you for the next one.